I don't know if she's enjoying this high yielding corn as much as I am. Man, I'm having a ball out here. I'll go ahead and tell you, in this one field this year, I have seen 300 bushels per acre on my yield monitor more times than the previous 16 years that I've run a yield monitor.
Welcome to my fun day. Apparently the air hose to the seat got pinched. Now I'm riding low, but oh, I can't stop, so I gotta attempt to fix it without, like, I can't even see over the steering wheel. So fun, I love this. So this is what it's like to sit on the ground. The airline is pinched back there, and I don't even know if we have any more airline. And the problem is I can't ride like this because all of this just rubs up against all these wires, everything that goes to precision planning. So I've got to fix it at some point. Just another day.
Man, I tell you what, we are pumping out the bushels down here in this bottom.
And the camera's not working.
I mean, we're getting almost 2 full combine loads from one end of this bottom to the other. I mean, it's saying a solid, you know, 230 plus with highs at 270 or so. Mighty fine corn. I tell you what, you know, for years, I think myself and probably most every producer has not really thought of corn as having many drought tolerant capabilities. But tell you what, I mean, if the drought hits at the right time, corn has got pretty amazing resilience. At least today's varieties do. I mean, now this drought came in after tasseling, and you know, the corn withstood it very well. You know, I still don't think corn is very tolerant of hot, dry conditions right at tasseling. That's kind of its kryptonite. But otherwise, if it hits other parts of the years, corn's got some pretty amazing resilience, and it just gives me confidence in the crop going forward. You know, as long as we can avoid that drought, hot weather at tasseling, there's a good chance we'll be all right. I think that's got her full enough. Now we get up to the other end. I gotta take a look at her seat and figure out what's wrong with the airline, why it's not staying aired up. You know me, you said you're not riding with mommy right now. Are you having separation anxiety? You say hi to everybody? No, you can't sit in my lap. No, you can't sit in my lap.
So that is causing all of my seat problems. And now I get the pleasure of running to town to go find fittings that will fix this. If not, this is what my my day's gonna be like. Oh, this is much better. It doesn't really go anywhere, but I went and got a fitting, and even though it's still leaking, Andy fixed it up just right to where I can actually see now instead of being in the ground. So honestly though, it's the first time we've had to go anywhere in 2 weeks to get parts. So I'm like not say anything else because then something else is gonna go wrong. So back to filling the truck. This bottom is doing pretty well. I think I got a few more rains than everything did back home. Huge blessing. But driving, you know, around here and seeing all the cotton that is just turning red and brown, A little disheartening, but we're just gonna keep rolling.
Well, we're whittling away at this bottom, but let me tell you, it's slow going. I mean, we're doing 3.4, 3.3 miles an hour. Elevator's running at 4,400 bushels per hour, which I believe is pretty close to maxed out on this combine. You know, having to, well, there we go, having to unload just every few minutes. Andy's got a long haul. I mean, this corn down here in this bottom it's exceeding all expectations. You know, a lot of it is, the vast majority of it is 230 to 250, but there's some pretty good, decent sized pockets of 280, 290 bushels too. I mean, it's a hair off of that last farm we did, but considering, you know, it didn't have that inch of rain, I mean, it's mighty impressive. I mean, it's mighty impressive. And this bottom kind of, it rises up to a small hill where the soil is definitely thinner, but I'm still seeing easily 200 plus on that part of the farm. I mean, it's just, I can't explain it. Obviously, we're doing some things right. And I know the soil is a whole lot better up here in Madison County. It's deeper. It's not as highly eroded in most places, or at least on the farms that I farm, is what it is in Crockett County. You know, it's also benefit from the soil health, but it's starting at a place of, you know, of greater yield to begin with, and that's a lot of it. Another big part is the variety. So I can't remember if this is 6837 or 6839, but it's a Roundup Ready version of 6835. And I tell you, that variety is a beast. I mean, it's flat out the highest yielding variety I've ever had before. It is an absolute beast. It's also the highest priced variety I've ever planted before, or at least the 6835 version is. The version I planted, the Roundup Ready, was reasonable. I want to say it was in the $260 per bag range. Still high for a Roundup Ready variety, but it's got some yielding genetics in it. I'll admit that. So anyway, my goal for today is to get this bottom finished, and then we got 2 little fields here. Then we got one like a 4-acre hill right across the creek, and then ultimately I want to get moved up on top of the big hill before we go home today. That will leave us with, I don't know, about 63, 64 acres done tomorrow, and I have my doubts that we'll be able to get all of that. I know I can get all shelled, but I have my doubts we'll be able to get it all hauled away in one day, but we sure gonna give it a try. We're putting grain so fast in the combine that it's taking forever for my grain tank to unload. 4,500 bushels per hour. By the time my grain tank's empty, we will have put about 515 bushels in that grain cart. Started out with 315 full grain tank, and just unloading on the go, I've harvested another 200 bushels on top of what was already in my grain tank. That'll actually make that 210 more bushels. So 525 bushels is how much we just put on the grain cart, unloading on the go in one trip. Any companies out there that want me to demo a 1,050, 1,100 bushel grain cart, put it to the test, hit me up next year. I'd love to take a look at it, because right now I think our grain cart size is more limiting to us in corn harvest than just having one truck, because, you know, if I'm far away from the truck, you know, to top the truck off, Kelly's got to make 2 trips to the combine to be able to get a full truckload, to where if I could fill this grain buggy all the way up and have a complete truckload on one grain buggy, the turnaround time would be a whole lot quicker. So Brent, J&M, Demco, any of y'all watching? Y'all want me to showcase one of your products next fall? Hit me up. Look at that right there. Kelly's right on time. Right where I needed her. I don't know if she's enjoying this high yielding corn as much as I am. Man, I'm having a ball out here. I'll go ahead and tell you, in this one field this year, I have seen 300 bushels per acre on my yield monitor more times than the previous 16 years that I've run a yield monitor. I've seen it just a very handful of times in the past, but this year in this field, every pass I make down through here, there's a couple spots where I'm seeing 300 bushels per acre every single time. Well, we finally got all the corn hauled off this big bottom here, and we're gonna drop the header and move up the road, go to the hill up there. And I know yields are about to fall off some, but so far this bottom and then the 4 small hill fields surrounding it average 212. I mean, 212 for a farm average in a good year for us is, you know, extraordinary. We just don't have very many farms capable of duplicating that with all the inrows, the trees, you know, the thin spots in the field and so on. And I'm just, this corn crop has just really shocked me, and all I can do is praise the good Lord for blessing us with what he has blessed us with, because he has blessed us. There's no scientific reason for corn doing as well as it did, considering everything that was thrown at it this year. I mean, the only one good thing that has happened to the corn crop agronomically this year was the abundant sunshine. Now, I know that's a big yield driver, but that's it. Everything else in the weather went against the corn crop, from the excess rain at planting for the first month and a half of its existence, to then turn into extreme drought, multiple weeks during grain fill of 95+ degree temperatures. I mean, like I said, sunlight's the only thing it had going for it, and the only explanation is good Lord has blessed us this year. You know, I spoke in earlier videos how, I never questioned God's ability to provide. I just had doubts on exactly how he would provide, and if he would provide in a way that would allow us the ability to go forward farming. And I mean, we're not done with harvest yet. We still got a long ways to go. We got a lot worse things to go, but good Lord's providing for us in a year that makes no agronomic sense to be able to provide for us. He did. Well, here we go. Moving at rush hour again. Guess I didn't learn my lesson yesterday. We only got to go a mile though, maybe. Maybe we'll get lucky this time. Or maybe not. Come on, dude. I'm pulled over. Come on. Just in case y'all was wondering, it really sucks to drive a combine in the city. Alright, that was definitely less painful than it could have been. Here we are, last field of corn, and we'll be done. I think we've got 65, 66 acres here. Alright, we finally got this field laid off. It took a little over a truckload to get it laid off, and man, it's long past down the road. I mean, there was nothing but morning glories on that outside row. I bet if I backed up 5 times, I backed up 100 times. But anyway, I knew yields were going to be down up here on this hill, but just like every other field except for 2, I don't mind this spot. It's surprising me. There's a lot of 200 to 230 bushel corn up through here. I'm shocked. I mean, I knew this was decent ground, but I figured it really needed a ripper run on it, which I still plan on doing that. But I know in 2022, when I last had corn up here, on this hill, I had some Pioneer varieties in my plot cut like 25 bushels an acre. I've well documented the problems with Pioneer corn when it's got severe drought during tasseling, and that was a big reason. But my UT variety trials that had every other brand in there, I mean, they only averaged like 60 or 70. And here we are 3 years later, we had a drought come in later. I got a great corn up here, and it's yielding, 200, 225 in a lot of spots. Not across the board, but in a lot of spots. I can't quite remember what the number on this variety is. I think it's Dekalb 6422, maybe, I think. It's 112 day, I believe. Anyway, I'll look it up and put it up here in the corner. In other news, you see that big thunder boomer all the way over there? It's in an area of West Tennessee that's gotten quite a few rains recently, but our skies are completely clear. According to NOAA, there is absolutely zero chance of rain in the forecast. And I think the lowest high that we got for the next 7 days is 96 degrees. So, I mean, that's pretty much the end of all the rest of our crops. Unless we happen to get a surprise rain, that's the end of the cotton. That's the end of all the soybeans, the double crop beans. That's the end. So I went ahead and texted my drone pilot that's going to be spreading cover crop seed for me on my double crop beans, because my regular crop duster they got out of the business. So I'm gonna have my drone pilot do all of my double crop beans with cover crop. I told him, like, I know it's early. I know I told you, like, you know, around the 1st of October, but if you got an opening, my beans are starting to die prematurely. Let's go ahead and get it. Let's go ahead and get the cover crop spread. We'll see what his schedule looks like. Hopefully he can get out here soon, because that cover crop is going to be a lot more effective if we can get it spread before the soybeans drop the leaves, because I want to get the seed on the ground and the leaves drop on top of the seed to kind of provide a mulch. Should help us get a better stand if and when it ever rains. Anyway, I'm going to enjoy these super long rows for about another 30 minutes. We're going to get everything loaded up. Andy just left with the last load of the day, so we're going to get everything loaded up and long combine, call it a day, and hopefully tomorrow we can get this field wrapped up and be done with corn harvest for the year.
Really wish that thunderstorm was here and not way over there. That's the only cloud in the entire area. But we're knocking the acres out, so should probably be done late tomorrow night or first thing Saturday.